men in prison get up to thanks to cell phones? We've got a good idea. Fighting, smoking dope. Is that a surprise? What's going on here? Marama Fox.
You know what, it's actually nothing new in prisons. We've had an issue with the justice system for a very long time. Is the privatisation of prisons the way to go? I'd like to say that we would like to support new initiatives, Māori focus units, the whare oranga ake, rehabilitation to reduce recidivism and to counter those issues.
What about the fighting? What's going on here?
Fighting's been going on in prison for a long time.
That's what I mean. So it's not just the privatisation, is it?
No, it's not. But these fight clubs are appalling, and we need to do something about it. I'm not completely opposed to privatisations of prisons.
Are you not?
Not completely, as long as they are monitored. As long as they are monitored closely, so that we can ensure the safety of our prisoners. But let's focus on rehabilitation.
Richard, what do you think that Marama said? Are you opposed to the privatisation of prisons?
Yeah, we are fundamentally opposed to privatisation of prisons.
No.
Yep, we think there are some things that the state should just keep to itself, and locking people up is one of them. And if you look at the focus of the prison system is to punish and to rehabilitate.
Richard, do you think gangs...
Under the commercial system, the imperative has gone on to profit making.
Do you think gangs are running the prisons as we see it right now? Do you think they're running the prisons?
Oh, look, I think they've always had a strong influence. I think under the current regime, where you've got the likes of Serco, private companies, the gangs have a greater influence, because the only way that the private companies can make a profit is to cut back on resourcing, and that comes down to reduced staff levels.
Barbara Kruger, National 2011 Minister of Justice, signed off on Serco. Is it time to say, this is shameful, this has got to stop?
Look, honestly, Wallace, it could have happened whether they were privatised or not. And
No, but that's not the point. That's not the point. It happened now under Serco.
Yeah, it is happening now, but obviously the reviews are going to show up why it happened and make sure that it doesn't happen again. There's new security systems going in there.
A long time before. This has obviously been happening and no one's called on it.
But we shouldn't be scared of privatisation. Nobody's to say that we could do it better than that they could do it.
So?
You know.
Well, look, it's a no-brainer that when you introduce privatisation into a critical service like this, corridors are going to be cut, because that's the way they maximise their profits. That's what's going on here. And today, we called for the CEO of Serco to be brought forward in front of the Select Committee, the accountability and the monitoring that Marama's asking for, and the government blocked it. They stopped it from happening. They don't want to know.
So, are you surprised at the fighting? When you saw the videos, were you surprised at the fighting in Mount Eden Prison?
I was surprised that they had the contraband of the cell phones to actually record it, and then that it was happening right under those guards' noses, and it's been plastered all over social media.
Contraband has been in Rimutaka Prison. You know, contraband's been in Rimutaka Prison. That's not a private prison. It has gone on in this country for a long time. 50% of prisoners are Māori, and that's disproportionate, and it shouldn't be happening. We haven't done anything in the prison system to reduce that number, or in the justice system. We need to address the key issues.
Well, why can't they stop it? Where are the staff? Where do you think the staff are?
Well, they don't have the staff levels that they need, because they're cutting corners because they want to maximise profits.
Yeah.
But the other half of the problem is that they put the prisons in the wrong place. They're in the cities where you can't use cell phone blockers. If we put them out in the country, out in the WOPs, where you can put the cell phone blockers in, they can't use that transmitting function.
Here's the other thing. They've been caught out actually cooking the books by transferring prisoners out once they're hurt and transferring them to other prisons. Right. That wouldn't be allowable by any other prison than Mount Eldon.
Richard, I'll come back to you. Let's go to Damien, a very interesting guest.
Yes, Wallace, I'm with Kim Workman from Rethinking Crime and Punishment. It is crime and imprisonment. You're a former prison officer.
No, I was head of prison.
Oh, head of prison.
Prison officer.
Okay, sorry about that. Fire my researcher. I'm the researcher, so there you go. No, do you think this is a new thing? Private prisons having, fight clubs, having contraband, cell phones, that sort of stuff. Is this directly linked to having Serco running prisons?
No, I don't think it is. It's right across the board, and it's been like that for some time, and it's getting worse. So I think we have to look beyond the solutions that are being talked about and try something different.
Do you think, though, a lot of people have jumped on this and said this is exactly why we can't, like Richard was saying on the panel, this is exactly why we can't have people like Serco running it, because it is going to be cost-cutting. Do you think people are just using this as an opportunity to go on either side of their already sort of ideological agenda, I suppose is what I'm trying to spit out?
Well, they're using it, and rightly so. I think it's a good idea to use the thing in that way. And certainly they are cost-cutting, but a lot of other prisons are cost-cutting as well. I think what we need in New Zealand is an independent corrections investigation unit that can look at this stuff, not reacting to incidents as they happen, but like the Independent Police Conduct Authority and looking systematically across the whole operation, both public and private prisons, and doing regular audits around those issues. Otherwise, we're going to be in serious trouble. I think there's one other thing we could do, David, and perhaps we could issue the prisoners with body cameras, and they could press the button and show the world what prisons are really like. And that might change some of the rubbish that goes on around prisons being holiday camps and so on.
I think somewhere Julie Christie's ears just perked up.
Yeah.
She's on to $1 million. Thank you very much, Kim, for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
All right, very, very much. Hey, Barbara, do you think that the staff would have known about this, what went on? Would the staff have been aware?
There's no evidence that they were aware that it was going to happen, and the reviews will show up whether that was the case or not. But, I mean, you know, these guys are people that have got a lot of time on their hands and think, and they're always trying to outsmart the staff, and I'm sure this is actually going to bring better practice into place.
So why not keep them busy then?
Yeah, well, look, you know, there's obviously, that's a good answer, is actually keeping them busy, keeping them doing stuff, and there's a lot of rehabilitation stuff that is going on,
so
but they will slack off.
What did you make of what
opportunity.
Kim Workman said there? It's not necessarily about the privatisation.
Very sensible, but it's not going to help when there are staffing numbers that have been cut because to create that profit. That's going to make it an awful lot worse, and that's what we're going to see with the Sercos. Look, they're the poster child for this government's privatisation agenda, and they still can't even get it right, despite the fact that they are actually moving prisoners around to try and make their record look an awful lot better than what it is.
But they lose money if they don't get it right. They have got conditions to meet, and so it's up to them. They'll be as gutted about this as anybody.
To another prison
they
and make
will
it look
be
like
as
it happened
gutted
somewhere else.
as anybody about this.
All right, what about you? What did you think of what Kim said?
Yeah, absolutely agree, and it's what I've been saying. We need to have a look at the system of what is going on here. These issues have been endemic in our prison systems and our justice system for a long time, and we need to make a change.
Okay then, solution. What can prisons do better in Aotearoa?
Rehabilitation. We need to support the development of Māori-focused units for Māori prisoners and other similar units for other prisoners, whare oranga ake.
Which costs a lot, huh?
They do, but out-of-gate services to help reintegrate prisoners into the society.
It's at Backbenchers TV, but a quick word from the audience from Damien about this issue, privatisation of prisons and that video.
Sir, did you see the video?
I have seen the video, yes.
Do you have an opinion about privatisation of prisons?
Well, I'm from America, so we have a lot of privatized prisons in America, and I don't think they've worked very well. But I do also agree that fighting in prisons has probably been going on longer than privatization has.
That's sort of what I think. You put a whole lot of prisoners, you know, criminals into a prison together, they're probably going to fight, right?
Right. But I do also take the Māori Party leader's point very well, which is that if you keep them busy doing things, or if you educate them, give them sort of different programs to work with, they can maybe be kept busy and get them reintegrated into society. And I don't think it will actually cost you more, because in the end, those people are not going to come back to prison. And having a prisoner in prison every day is really expensive.
Thank you very much. I'm glad I came to you.